Hello everyone, my name is Moji. You're watching a Bitcoin Bubble news channel. People thought I was crazy when I first talked about the exponential age in 2020. I feel like this is going to be the fastest technological growth in the history of the world, and it will happen so quickly that it will be the biggest change we've ever seen as a species. This video is mostly about why you have 6 years to make as much money as possible before the economy, markets, and business as we know them fall apart. I just can't see past that. That is why I call it the economic singularity. What the hell am I talking about? When I say magic formula, I mean the formula for GDP growth. The world changes very quickly. It also brings a lot of chances for people who understand how important this time is. Raoul Pal, founder and CEO of Real Vision, has been stressing this theme a lot. He says that by 2030, the world will go through a huge change that he calls the exponential age or the economic singularity. This change, which is being caused by new technologies like robots and AI, will likely affect every part of life at an amazing rate over the next 6 years. Some people think that the world's financial system will fall apart, but Pell has a different view. He thinks that the next step in the growth of our money system is already happening, which will make the change easier. Pell's thesis is about how quickly AI and robots are changing, which he sees as important for solving the world's huge debt problems. According to him, the current level of production is not enough to handle the growing debt load. However, AI's ability to make knowledge infinitely scalable and robotics' ability to make physical labor infinitely scalable could revolutionize productivity and possibly solve the debt crisis. Pal warns, however, that this change will make the world very different from what it is now. He says that people should take advantage of opportunities in the cryptocurrency market within the next 6 years, or else the world will change so much that standard economic models and investment strategies will no longer work. Raoul Pal, the journeyman and former Goldman Sachs executive, goes into more detail about the exponential age. He says it will be fully realized by 2030 and stresses how important it is to take advantage of these huge possibilities as soon as possible, before it's too late. If you want to see more crypto and Bitcoin news, check out our daily 5-minute crypto email before the rest of the video. It's a great look at on-chain crypto data and splits, and the best part is that it's free. In short, they'll talk about what experts think will happen, how on-chain crypto data is broken down, and any breaking news you need to know. To become a better crypto trader right now, click the first link in the description and enter your email address. Over 50,000 other people have already done the same thing. Using the magic formula, GDP growth is caused by 3 things: more people, more work, and more debt. In the rich world, including China, population growth is slowing down because people are living longer. A lot of groups are now getting smaller. Due to immigrants, the US is barely keeping its head above water. But everywhere else, the rate of change in population is falling. That means the thing that was driving population rise has gone away. We can see that in GDP because the trend rate of GDP has been dropping steadily. In the US, it's gone from about 4% to 1.75%, and in the rest of the developed world, it's dropped even more, usually to below 1% to keep up with population growth, falling in those places. Productivity growth is the other side of the thing. Productivity growth is how much you get done for each kilojoule of energy, or how much you save on your power bill. If power is the economic energy that keeps the world going, then we need to figure out how to use it. It's true that technology has made people more productive, but the trouble is that older people are less productive. It's been a fight, and technology hasn't won in a long time. After that, there was debt growth, which I've talked about a lot. In 2008, debt growth pretty much stopped, and now all debt growth is used to pay off old bills. That's why those economic forces went away. It was a very large population in China during the time of the economic wonder. In the middle of the 1990s, I think it was 1.1 billion, was join the world's workforce. China's economy became more open. That's a huge boost to GDP. How productive were they? Well, they built the railroads, roads, power plants, and everything else that makes China what it is today. There was more work done after that. After that, they added to the bill. We had a big economic boom in China, but now our population is getting older because of the one-child policy. We also have a big problem with debt. What the hell do we do? Because GDP growth isn't fast enough, we have to keep debasing currency to try to cover the debt payments. This is what the Everything Code does over and over again. In this way, GDP is like the money that comes into the economy and pays off the bills. Interest rates need to be low when GDP growth is low. That's why the Fed is going to cut rates and do other things. But as GDP growth slows down, debt growth keeps going up. You have to keep renewing all of this debt. because the economy isn't growing fast enough to get out of its debt-based state. But things began to change on the edges, and they changed very quickly over COVID. To begin, I believe Amazon now has more robot employees than human employees. I've been pointing out this trend for a while now. Robots are more effective than people and cost less to use. They aren't unhappy and don't have unions. They also cost a lot less over time. So the robots are just beginning to take over. Elon Musk is here with his Optimus robot. There are a lot of robotics companies here like Figure, Boston Dynamics, and more. Because they are so flexible, humanoid robots are starting to take the place of people. Like machine learning was only good at one thing, they don't have to be for a single job. AI is much more general. Robots will be able to do more than one thing. That starts to make up for the lack of people in the population. It will take longer for the robots to climb though. If it's physical hardware, you either have to make it or build it. This is still in its early stages. Yes, Tesla robots and others will be used in, say, workplaces, but it will probably be 10 to 15 years before they're used in our homes. AI is the big deal here. AI is simply human knowledge that never ends, changing the economy in basic ways. Powell asks important questions. If AGI takes over the world's markets, what will GDP mean? How will the speed at which businesses are being started and shut down change the economy? Powell plans to take advantage of this change by putting a lot of money into cryptocurrencies over the next 6 years. He plans to get out of the markets before 2030, when the world will be unrecognizable. As the singularity gets closer, he imagines himself resting on a quiet beach while other people try to figure out the new world and economy. Because of this vision, he feels rushed and says that now is the time to move before the cryptocurrency market goes from being worth $2 trillion to an estimated $100 trillion by 2030. Come back to the movie. In order to stop the system until this works, we're using the everything code to keep paying off the bills. In terms of the economy, this is being worked on very hard in 2 areas. Totally focused on the AI, he is in charge of the AGI and the whole world. Now, I think there will be more than one AGI, and we don't know if they will interact with each other or join together. And I don't care about that right now. That's something else to talk about. What I'm really thinking about is how much information that gives me. It's a lot of people, right? There are infinite humans, so there is no shortage of information. As a result, it has no value. Everything that is turned into a digital file has no value. One of the main reasons blockchain is so important is that it lets you make digital scarcity. But information will no longer be worth anything. It's going to be like water everywhere. What does that even mean? I'll say a little more about that in a moment. Another thing that makes this more infinite is when you add in robots. On the other hand, work is what you get done. As we talked about, productivity is built on how much work is done per unit of electricity. Now, people look at what Europe is doing to see how they are moving toward green energy. What a silly waste of time and money that is. A lot of money is going into this. Everything is going to burn. What a waste of time. It's not. It's most likely one of the most important things. This is being led by both China and Europe. In fact, China is in the lead overall. You see, using green energy leads to 2 things. For starters, it makes energy much cheaper. Costs for renewable energy keep going up and up. Cost keeps going down every year.